Call halal, wa'awad, la Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, rule well, with Tyler's knowledge. Honors and salutations to you fellow laborers that's doing the work of truth, sincerity. Shalom to you and shalom to the few Waf that believe as well. This is from Bloomberg. It says, Biden close to rollback of Chinese tariffs to fight inflation. And you remember when this guy Trump was in office, his administration was responsible for the tariffs or the tariffs war with China, with Moab. And pretty much during this during this high inflation period, those tariffs, all right, are causing the Biden administration to rethink it. Because if you don't know what tariffs are, by the way, it's increased taxes on goods. And they had like a tariff war. This guy Trump and Xi, what's his name, Xi of China, Xi Jinping. So with the inflation being so high, um, with the dollar losing its purchasing power, all right, it become more hard to buy goods because no one's accepting the U.S. dollar like that. You have China and even Russia are using more of their own currency, which is backed by gold and other things. So let's get into the article. It says President Joe Biden may announce as soon as this week a rollback of some U.S. tariffs on China consumer goods, as well as new probe into industrial subsidies that could lead to more duties in strategic areas like technology. Biden has not yet made a final decision, and the timing could slip, according to people familiar with the deliberations, who asked not to be identified without permission to discuss private conversations. It would mark his first major policy step on trade ties between the world's two biggest economic powers. The president in recent weeks held a number of meetings with senior economic advisors where options for a decision on the Trump era tariffs were discussed, according to the people. So like I said, they trying to scale back on some tariffs, man. Because like I said, the trade war caused a lot of things to go up. All right, because America imports a lot of things from China. All right, China is the biggest um, exporter of goods to America. All right, it says tariff. A tariff is a tax imposed by the government of a country or by a supranational union on imports or exports of goods. It says besides being a source of revenue for the government, import duties can also be a form of regulation of foreign trade and policy that taxes foreign products to encourage or safeguard domestic industry. Tariffs are among the most widely used instruments of protectionism, along with import and export quotas. So, excuse me. So that's the beginning of it, right? When things are, like I said, things are increasing in taxes as far as the things you buy. That affects the economy because if you force to buy some local goods, well, a lot of things are not made local. You know, like I said, America is a big importing country. Everything, I believe it was like 95% of America's goods are imported. It's roughly 95%. So that's a big deal because that means the U.S. don't really make anything. All right, everything it uses usually come from China, including China steel, um, furniture, you name it, electronic devices, uh, kids' toys. All right, a lot of your phones are made in China. Excuse me. So they depend on China a lot. It says tariffs can be fixed. A constant sum per unit of imported goods, or a percentage of the price, or variable. The amount varies according to the price. Taxing imports means people are less likely to buy them as they become more expensive. See, that's all it does, make it more expensive, especially to the consumer. The intention is that they buy local products instead, boosting their country's economy. So, you know, with them trying to force you to buy, things locally, that's not a good thing because, like I said, the U.S. hardly produces anything at all, so it doesn't make sense. And what happened is, like I said, with the U.S. dollar purchasing power being really the worst right now, even though it's still, you know, a main currency that's used by countries, still, people are not accepting that IOU no more. Like China uh, putting tariffs back on U.S. that caused the U.S. Companies to take a big hit because um, I remember when it happened. I was working at an iron. I was working in the iron foundry at this company, and they were talking about the price of their iron because their iron chips come from China. Then you had a lot of steel companies were complaining because they was getting their steel from China. So really, it was hurting a lot of steel workers, a lot of iron workers, uh, and all the companies that use and depend on a lot of China metals. All right, they make a lot of steel in China. Okay, so what you're seeing is, in other words, the immense amount of debt from creating a fiat currency, all right, orchestrated by the elites of Esau, the small hatters, and now it's starting to take an effect because countries are not letting the U.S. buy all these great goods for cheap or pretty much nothing when you know that it's as far as the U.S. dollar is backed by nothing. Those times are starting to be over. All right, that's the reason why this Ukraine and Russia war is heavy upon the country because Russia is forcing people to do the ruble transaction. You got to buy rubles and buy goods from Russia in that way, and that causes the ruble to be stronger. And being it's backed by gold, you're getting a return on your money at least. All right, this is Habakkuk 2, and let's go down to verse 5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." This is this American society. It's made of all people. All right, all nations are represented here in America. All right, Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, Ham, Elam, you name them, they over here. Right. Verse 6: Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a telling proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that laded himself with thick clay. Right, because the clay represents the debt. Right, this man is in such great debt. He can't pay off the debt he's in. That's why he was, Esau's resorting to war because he don't have no other option. When the empire loses its grip on the world, what does it do? It resorts to war. Right. So the word clay is abatyat. I'm sorry, ibatyat. So ibatyat is the word. It says weight of pledges, heavy debts. All right. Esau is in heavy debt he cannot recover. All right. The interest rate. All right. For American as far as the credit rated approval is bad. All right. All bad. And it's not getting any better. Excuse me. It's not getting any better. It's increasing. All right. The debt ceiling alone is, man, through the roof. You don't hear people talk about it no more because you know why? It's such great debt. And that's how you know that this place is on its way out. This place is finished, man. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, starting at verse 8. Well, I'm sorry, let's start a bit. Verse 7. Jeremiah 51 and 7. It says, Babylon has been the golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Excuse me, and that's the truth. You know, every nation or country were, you know, um, influenced by so-called America. All right, you had countries that were against it, but a lot of countries got down with the ways of America. All right, and a lot of them was in fear, especially after they, World War II, after bombing Japan and everything, that made nations afraid of them. All right, so they got down with the so-called democracy, or they was invaded, just like you have the Middle East. It says the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, because they realized that it led their people to a state of turmoil. You know, verse 8: Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Right? Because you cannot, hey, you cannot get out of the debt. This place is over, man. All right, the era which America flourished in such great riches, that's been long gone. When they went to this fiat currency, it was over. Okay, which was foolish. A purposeful, um, a purposeful, um, how you say, a purposeful um, sabotage of the elites of Esau. You know, for this place called America. All right. Verse 9: We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. All right. This place is not healed. Because you know why? The Most High is getting ready to take this place out. All right. That's why everything you see in America is failing. From its economy to its infrastructure. Um, everything. Everything that you was enjoying about, America, for all you people out there that love to travel and love America, whether you one of the tribes or not. You see that this place is finished, and you see it's getting worse and worse over the years. I mean, just the time I've been living, which I ain't been living that long, my little 30 some odd years, I still have noticed a major difference. Okay. Um, Revelation chapter 18 and verse 17. It says, "For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught." Now, this is the the moment where this place is destroyed by the Heavenly Father. All right. And what made America rich? First and foremost, slavery made America rich. Enslaving the Israelites, so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos or Hispanics, so-called Native American Indian people. That's who made America rich. All the inventions that were made by the Israelites from slavery, working the gold mines and uh, you know the fields, cotton fields and sugarcane fields and so on and so forth, man. Everything from digging, the Southern Kingdom, Jake's digging in the diamond mines over in the west coast of Africa. You name it. All right, you name it. It says, "For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city?" They've been doing a lot of business through this great city, through the U.S. dollar, being as the world reserve currency that meant a lot to do business with America. You received a lot of fiat notes, and you were able to go around and use these fiat notes because they was valued more than other currencies. All right. Excuse me. That was the thing. You would sell your goods and you could sell them for a lot more when you sold them to America versus selling them to anyone else because they had the top currency. All right. They have the top currency still, even though it's quickly fading. So you were able to take a little bag of rice and almost double your money by selling it to America versus selling it within your own land or to another country. You can. It was so. If you take, basically, like most places you would go, you would take probably $1,000 US. That was considered a lot of money to spend in most countries, especially the poorer countries. That's why the ships and these sailors or merchants of the sea so quickly to bring over those goods. But the bottleneck situation caused a lot of goods to be backed up, and then with the tariffs in place, a lot of the goods that you were buying, if you couldn't afford it no more, or you didn't see a value in buying it, as far as you didn't see a profit in it, you didn't buy it no more. And that's what a lot of companies did. Okay, so this is no, this is a major thing that's going to happen. All right, verse 19 it says, "And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate." See, they were made rich, man. This is how countries came up financially or economically, by doing business with America. All right, they came up because, like I said, doing business with America, the U.S. dollar went a long way. You know, but now it's not. It's not so, and that's causing them to you know, to complain and be sad and sorrowful because why? They're not getting that money no more. You see, that's why the scriptures say, trust not in uncertain riches. You know, you don't know, you don't know, uh, you don't know how the riches that you think you have. All right, you don't know how long it's gonna last, or none of that stuff, man. You know, you just hoping. You're just hoping that it lasts, and it's not gonna last. All right, as far as you other heathen outside of Esau. This is Isaiah 13 and starting in verse 19. It says, "In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch their tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there." See, and hey, them Arabs, man, they. I remember as a kid when they first came in, sweeping up gas stations and corner stores left and right, man. All right, the so-called Arabs, according to Esau, the so-called Arabs are terrorists, but they have gas stations and they sell a lot of oil to America. You know, so but that time is coming to an end. All right, that time is coming to an end. All right, even if they ease off these tariffs, it's still too late. There's hardly anything left in these storehouses, man. It's almost over. You know, but with that, I'm not gonna hold you any longer. I want to say, Lord willing, that was edifying to those of you that may listen and tuned in. And to next time, I want to say shalom to you.